This is Cadillac Unscripted on 107.9 CDY. It's sponsored every week at this time by Independent Bank, and we love to talk to people who are making a difference in the community. And the name Liabenow has a lot of good things associated with it when it comes to Cadillac. And we have Bonnie Liabenow with us right now. Katy, you set this up. This is going to be a lot of fun because Bonnie writes. She loves to write.
She does. Bonnie has written a series of devotional journals that, can move mountains, in my opinion. So welcome, Bonnie. Thanks for joining us today.
Katy, I am just thrilled to be here and just to share my heart with you and answer any questions.
Well, I want to know, you've had such a busy life with the tree farm and the superintendency and all the things.
Lots of experiences.
You sure have. Your time in Lansing, and now they're splitting their time between Northern Michigan and Florida. Rich, just so you know, the jet setters are all over the place. But I'm interested to know what moved you to write your journals.
It's a practice that I've had. Journaling. And personally, the discipline of journaling has been the direct catalyst to experiencing spiritual and emotional wellness,
okay,
and mental and physical health. And I just want everyone to join in with me, especially women, to encourage them to write and to experience the benefits of journaling.
Mm-hmm. Bonnie's a close friend of mine, Rich, and so when you talk about your mental and physical health along with emotional, spiritual, can you share a little bit about what a day in the life of Bonnie Liabenow looks like? Because I know that fitness is hugely important in this. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, spiritually and emotionally, as a woman of faith, my pursuit has been to know God and just have a keen awareness of His ever-presence in my life. And so I have quiet time. I have coffee, as Katy knows, and I just sit. I really respond to the Word, God's Word, and what is it speaking to me? What does He want from me? And then just reflect all the different things that I've experienced that the day before and that evening. And when you add writing to it, when you start documenting these moments, it really, especially small moments, it just protects me from ever taking for granted those small blessings. My daily blessings.
It would seem
in my life.
It would seem to be, Bonnie, at least from my perspective, and I know that I have never been a journaler, but in many cases I wish that I had, because there's a lot of little things that happen during a day that you miss. Mm-hmm. How do you find the time? Because there is, all of us. This is a society in which we go, and there's no stopping. So how do you find the time or make the time to sit down and just breathe and write it out?
Well, you can take it with you anywhere you go. Even in my prayer life, I've learned to pray standing in the coffee line or at a stoplight. I think that you can do these quiet moments anywhere. And when you take those moments of remembrance, it delivers just a natural sense of gratefulness. And you know how gratefulness is so connected to our happiness. And
good mental health.
I think once you begin that, you just don't want to stop because before you haven't taken the time. And when you do, it makes you so grateful and for the small loves, the hugs, the new friendships, the rekindled friendships.
Were you ever in a position, Bonnie, where you didn't have pen and paper and something happened to you and you said, "Ooh, I really need to remember this," so you picked up your phone and made an audio recording?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not a recording, but I do use my notes
Okay.
often, because I really think that a lot of times when we're journaling and things come to you, it never returns exactly like the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's so important to write it down on any mental note, however you're, I carry my journal. I carry little notes with me. So I would just encourage, I know it's harder for guys because they don't have the big purses, but but you do have your phone.
The family's so important to Paul and Bonnie. Their sons, their grandchildren, their daughters-in-law. How has this projected itself? How has this manifested itself, I'll say, with the rest of the family, Bonnie?
Well, I think that as my sons have grown and life experience, college careers, they've actually taught me how to, especially with mental and physical goals, I guess journaling would be a way that we've kept focused. We build resilience and grit. And I think our family has kept on the path of personal improvement. We write down, especially, I think that in the last 15 years, I've learned from them how to really write SMART goals and then to teach others. With my littles, Katy and Rich, when they come to camp, summer camp, we call it Nana and Papa Camp, I have a journal for them. And I have asked them to sit down and tell me, to write out as though they were telling somebody, or especially me, what was good about the day? What was difficult about the day? What made it better? And so I'm trying to extend that to them at a young age. Our grandchildren are anywhere from 4 to 13. The 20-month-old is not ready for it, but from my 4-year-old to the 13-year-old, yeah. And then also with the journaling, they have been, with my writing, they've had key input to speaking into my life. Like, Mom, this is what you do well. This is where improvements need. We're pretty open about that. We're pretty honest, have honest discussions about that. So does that answer your question, Katy?
It sure does. You've pulled in other women into your journals. And let's talk about that. That process of asking someone to tell their story, in where does that come from? And how do you know this is a story that belongs in one of your books? Because, that's your heart and that's your work. And so when you pull in others, can you tell us, how you make that decision?
It's difficult because when someone submits a story, they also give me permission to edit and to work it for the goal that I have, or the target emotion that I want for that section of the journal. Writing my first book, Excellence with Simple Elegance, it was really my story, my journey. And when I got to journaling through the seasons, I really wanted to have my readers like, oh my goodness, not just Bonnie, but all women experiencing experiencing these things. They experience the same things that I'm experiencing. And I thought I could just pull that wealth of knowledge, that wealth of experience into journaling through the season so that I would have a story that it would meet. I'm emotional about this.
Yeah.
It would touch the heart. Even if it just touched the heart of one person.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I think that the stories are wonderful. And I didn't do that in Fallen Faith. But someone spoke into my life, and I listened, and I brought it in with Winter and Word.
Okay.
And do you want to share a little bit about that, Katy?
Sure. Yeah, I don't know if Rich knows this part. So, Bonnie and I have been friends. Now I'm going to get emotional for, over 20 years. And anyway, when I was in a terrible motorcycle accident, and, Bonnie waited till I was fully healed, and she was visiting me at my lake home, which we do. We have lunches and we have dinners and we go boating. And she said, I have a question, and there isn't a right answer, but would you be willing to tell your story? And I was just so, I was a little taken aback by that, but then I really thought it through and about that journey of faith and truly of angels. And I ended up in the book, So this morning, Bonnie, I read a reflection, and this came out of Fallen Faith. And I love this. The author of the reflection was Jan Lee Logan, and who said, "The trees are about to show us how lovely it is to let things go." And then next, Bonnie says, let's talk about healing. God commands the trees to let go of their leaves. What are you going to let go of? And then you journal to that. And so it's great to have sort of a guide, because if you've never journaled before, you're kind of like, okay, where do I start? Do I just, spit out everything that I'm thinking? And so this gives you these journaling books give you a guide and kind of a syllabus maybe. And so every year I go on a big trip with my best friends from college, and we give each other fun socks or slippers or something from the different cities that we're from. And last year I brought Bonnie's journal, Winter and the Word, to the ladies, along with the keychain, that said something like, God is with you wherever you go. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, that kind of thing. And it meant so much. It was better than one of my cakes. It was better than my little boxes of cookies that I brought them over the years, because they went through that with me, and the story was in there. So, thank you for that, Bonnie, especially for all the guidance that you're giving women. You got to tell Rich how many followers you have. Because this is a man with a lot of followers on social media. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I have as much as he does, but between my blog and my Facebook and my others, probably between 3 and 6, accumulative. Mm-hmm. It's women are searching. That's my experience as a life coach, a counselor, a friend. And, my ultimate goal with my work was really, I'm truly passionate about it. I want others, especially women, to just experience the goodness of every day and find joy and to find happiness. Mm-hmm. And love. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's really difficult, but that's where the journal slides in. Mm-hmm. It's so I just wanted to invite women. I really feel that that's my calling, is to women, to embrace writing. And to the point that you made, the guided journal does it well, because I felt like, I say things short and brief, and I wanted them to be able to do long answers, short answers, whatever length they have. And so we have extra notes that you can add to, but I didn't want it to be intimidating because I don't want this discipline. I mean, we all engage in different disciplines to keep us on track, to keep us focused, as I said before, and I just wanted it to be a good experience. And so I want them to embrace the writing and to just experience the wonderful benefits of journaling.
You know, I'm sitting here because you answered my question before I even asked it, which was, what is your ultimate goal with your work? And I'm smiling because, Rich, you got to hear this. Bonnie has a way of showing you what would really be a good idea, even when you don't want to do it. And so this summer, we had a beautiful salmon salad luncheon on their boat in Grand Traverse Bay. And oh my gosh, the weather was perfect. Everybody was in a good mood. It was Paul and Bonnie and I, and just weren't we so blessed to be out in the beautiful weather on their gorgeous boat? And Bonnie says, let's jump in. This is 30 years of teaching swimming lessons. Okay. So let's jump in. And I said, I don't want to get my hair wet.
Oh, of course you did. Of course you did.
I said, I really, and she looked at me in only a way that Bonnie could do. She didn't give me a hard time, and she said, okay. And I said, but you go ahead. Now I'll stick my feet in. So she jumps in, and swims from the boat, swimming around. And she said, boy, it feels great in here. And I said, okay, all right. I am not going to miss this opportunity to swim in this crystal clean, gorgeous water in this beautiful bay on this beautiful day. And I jumped in, and we paddled around and had more fun in Grand Traverse Bay. And at the end of the day, I looked at Bonnie and I'm like, I can't believe I almost missed swimming in the cool water on a hot day because I didn't want to get my hair wet. And I said, thank you for handling it in such a diplomatic way as a good friend. It was funny. But, okay, now
I did say, put on your hat. Remember? I said, put on your hat.
And I did.
See, that's me, Katy. That's me. I don't want you to miss out on all the fun that I knew you would have. And so that's how I approached my project.
Sometimes you just have to trust a friend's advice and gentle prodding, right?
Absolutely. And again, don't miss the moment. Don't miss, I want to show you this. This is going to be beautiful. And it was so fun. I remember Paul saying, you girls are getting too far away from the boat because we're both pretty proficient swimmers. So we were just having a good old time out there. And now he starts to pace the boat, and it is a big boat. He starts pacing the boat. That's it. You guys need to come in. So, but to my next question, Bonnie, to our listeners, what if someone out there was thinking, you know what, I've got a story to tell. I want to become a writer, and I want to become an author. I mean, you're in the middle of a big launch with your journals, and what would you tell that person?
Oh, go for it! Absolutely, write it.
Okay.
It's hard. It's really hard. Katy, I've been so blessed to have a wonderful team to create wonderful books and journals. In these journals, but I just am so proud of the journals, and being that my team just worked so well. So I would say get people that bring alongside. Katy, what did you say that one time about bringing a team along next to side of you? I was trying to think of it.
Private board of directors. Private board of directors.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. Mm-hmm. That's it, Katy. So really, so write it. Just go for it. Don't worry about. Just put your thought, your heart, everything into it, and then bring someone in that really can edit, give you the tough return. Mm-hmm. I mean, my on Excellence with Simple Elegance would say it's really hard. I didn't want to cry, but it's like getting an 8th grade paperback with so much red writing that I'm like, oh, I can't fix all this. How can I fix all this? Mm-hmm. But just to, that's where you put yourself out there, and that's where you build resilience. That's what you build, the time that you build grit. It's really, when you set a goal like this, you have to be all in, and you have to realize there is sacrifice, there is humility, because, when it launches, there is fear that enters in it. They say to yourself, well, wonder if they don't like it. Mm-hmm. Or wonder if they don't like it, and because they're friends with me, they say, oh, yeah, it's wonderful, but they never buy it, and they never gift it to anybody else. Mm-hmm. I had all those experiences, but number one, go for it. Number two, write down everything that you think. Keep a journal with you for all the experiences that you want to put into your book. Tell everybody you know, because once you tell everyone, you have to finish it. Because people are going to hold you accountable. Mm-hmm. I had a husband that did that. He was superintendent, and he told everybody. And the next week, I had everyone ask me, when are you going to finish your book? When are you going to finish your book? And I looked at him like, what did you do to me? But it's the best way, to be held accountable. Because then you know who's cheering you on.
Sure.
And I've created, along with my team, a guided journal that creates those emotions, that created emotion within the season that you're at, mm-hmm. that you're living, and I targeted a benefit, like you said in the one that you just shared. It was healing, so I want healing to happen. So I have to create the emotion. So I really needed to find story, or a quote, or a poem, or a lyric to create that emotion, because anything created, it's created because there's an emotion. Whether with any art, mm-hmm. It's so just feel all the feels and then write it down. With journaling, you will find that writing comes with ease. And so when you're producing the book, then you're willing to do the hard.
And speaking of the hard work, Katy, you've got a couple of passages, parts of this new book that you wanted to share with us.
I do. So I asked Bonnie, what is your recipe for a happy life? Because, like I said, over 20 years, I've watched her dreams come true. And I've seen both she and Paul work very hard for those dreams. And of course, so much of all of it based on faith, all of it. Mm-hmm. And so here's what she said. Here's my recipe for a happy life. Go to the uncomfortable. Don't be afraid to do the hard stuff. That's where God shows up. Number 2, have a mentor. Number 3, live out your passion. So I want to read that again. Recipe for a happy life from Bonnie Liabenow. Go to the uncomfortable. Don't be afraid to do the hard stuff. That's where God shows up. Number 2, have a mentor. Number 3, live out your passion. And I can tell you all 3 of her sons are doing that. It's amazing to watch them soar. Quite literally.
Literally, yes.
Literally. Okay. And then in one of her journals, and this one happens to be my favorite, Winter and Word, journaling through the seasons, she answers the question, why journal? As I look through my past journals, I see how God has been working in my life, and that reminds me that he is constantly present. That's a quote from Bonnie. And then she says, there's something about writing, something about jotting down how we felt and what we've learned in a fleeting moment on a day that may have seemed otherwise unremarkable. we so often remember the grandest core moments where God's work was so evident. He seemingly all but showed up and shook hands around the room. But when life moves fast, smaller moments move faster, and even the most joyful ones dissipate to join those now forgotten. From Bonnie Liabenow, everybody. She is in the middle of a book launch. Her journals are called Journaling Through the Seasons. You can find her on Amazon. A wonderful servant to Cadillac, especially when it comes to education and children, the Liabenows. And Bonnie is off on her own journey of journaling and teaching us all how to do it well.
And I'm sure that book is available online, anywhere. Look up, what's the title again, Katy?
It's her, so she does every season.
Okay.
So I'm in front of me, I've got Journaling Through the Seasons, Fall and Faith. Then next is Journaling Through the Seasons, Winter and Word. And then she's got Summer and Sonship. And then she's got Spring First. So you can go onto Amazon and find Bonnie. Or if it's me, I call her and say, hey, can Paul drop off some journals?
Right.
They make a wonderful gift for people who have everything. Mm-hmm. You know, I have aunts that have, what are you going to buy somebody who's 75 years old? They have everything. Mm-hmm. This is really special. It comes from the heart, especially because, like I said, she's a dear friend personally, but was such a servant to Cadillac for so many years.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, we thank her for her time. Bonnie, thank you for coming on the show this week. We really appreciate it. I do want to let you know, Katy, that in the coming weeks, we're very excited that we are making arrangements to have the new president of the Cadillac Area Chamber of Commerce, Dave Cox, who is segued over from the education arena, having been the super for the Wexford-Missaukee ISD. He's going to be on in future weeks, and we're looking forward to visiting with him, and we've got a lot of stuff planned in the coming weeks.
Oh, I can't wait to talk to Dave.
Yes, and we are 8 weeks away from show number 300.
Incredible. So I'm going to tee this up to you because now we are both at the speed limit. We are both at double nickels. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to throw out a challenge. I want us both to learn to do something new in 2026.
Okay.
So you let me know what it's going to be.
Okay.
And then, like Bonnie said, if you speak it, then and someone's going to say, hey, did you learn to do that?
It might be a new skill with Adobe Premiere or Adobe After Effects as far as editing goes that can help my students better in our classroom, because I am not a Photoshop guy.
Okay.
And there's a lot of kids in our class that really want to know how to do Photoshop, and I am not Photoshop sufficient at all. So
I will say old dogs and new tricks, because you're kind of still staying in your lane, and I wanted to tell you what
you want me to go out of that lane?
No, because mine is I'm going to take wedding cake decorating classes. And I'm gonna get really good at this, but I'm not gonna do it for money. I'm just gonna do it for fun.
But that's staying in your lane too.
I know.
That's just improving on your already very, very skilled cake baking abilities. So,
well, you're staying in your lane. Anyway, you know what? I'm good with that.
Okay, that sounds good. We will update you through the coming year on how that progress goes.
That's right.
All right. Cadillac Unscripted is sponsored by Independent Bank. Katy is my co-host, and we're coming up on year 6 to start with episode 300, and that may or may not coincide with the new year. I haven't figured out exactly how they go yet, but it's pretty close.
Okay, so I want to do a special cake giveaway. I'll let you pick what cake it is, because you've tried several of them, to one of our listeners, somebody who's been with us on our journey. So that's coming.
Watch the Facebook page, probably closer to the end of 2025.
Okay.
And we'll tee that up.
Sure.
Katy Huckle, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cadillac Unscripted, sponsored by Independent Bank. Join us next week, same time, same station, 107.9 CDY.